I feel like it's a cycle with the youth. Like, it just keeps repeating on and on.
It's a pattern that disturbs Mila McLeod, the frequency of youth involved in the juvenile justice system, something she was familiar with as a teen.
I started being more defiant and not listening as well as I needed to. I was losing opportunities because of getting suspended and expelled.
She says her childhood was troubling, and she was sent to a boot camp by the court at 17 years old. Her issues, she believes, stemmed from absent parents.
That is the biggest downfall, because these kids will go out here and instead of for picking up what I said I picked up, which was using my brain and my hands, they will go out here and pick up drugs and guns and make a living out of it because they can't survive.
Now at 21, McLeod says her life is turned around, largely thanks to the nonprofit Rise for Youth, which connected her to career opportunities and life skills.
If we invest in young people, if we let them know how valuable, how brilliant, how worthy they are, they'll respond to that.
Valerie Slater leads the organization, the mission of which is to supply court-involved youth with the tools they need to succeed. She knows firsthand the positive impacts of holistic programming, something she says the City of Richmond is not providing enough of.
It is so woefully deficient.
So decades ago, the General Assembly established the Virginia Juvenile Community Crime Control Act, or the VJCCA, and that set up a system of community-based services for youth with the purpose of deterring crime through diversion and accountability. Every locality participates, and they get to determine what services they want to provide. Under the act last year, Henrico had 14 programs, including anger management, mental health services, parenting, and mentoring. Chesterfield offered 11, including social activities, substance use evaluations, and restorative justice. Richmond had 3 that were operational: community service, community monitoring, and electronic monitoring.
If all you're doing is putting an ankle monitor on a child, you're basically setting them up for failure.
None of the city services are prevention-based, and they do not meet VJCCA's recommendation of a balanced approach since they do not include competency development programs. Do you think there are enough programs for those court-involved youth in Richmond?
There hasn't been any complaints discussed with my department. We work in partnership with the state and the court service unit to develop programs based on this locality's criminogenic needs that are identified.
Dawn Barber is the director of Richmond Justice Services, which provides VJCCA programs. She acknowledges that some services have not been implemented due to staffing challenges in her office. The state matches local money to fund VJCCA, but Richmond City has sent back more than $1 million in unused funds since 2021, out of the $1.3 million received from the Commonwealth. Why is the city not using that money?
Again, funds are expended based on the number of referrals, so the number of kids we have in our programs. We just didn't have the level of kids that would have utilized all the funds.
Those referrals come from the court service unit, the supervisor of which declined an interview for our story. But Barber thinks that referrals are down because...
Well, if you look historically, the number of juvenile intakes have decreased over the number of years. So that is the prevailing philosophy, that if juvenile crime is down, there's not enough juveniles, which is a good thing, to refer to programs, different programs.
Is it true that juvenile crimes are down? I mean, I was looking through the DJJ resource data guide, and it says that juvenile felonies and misdemeanors are actually up over the past 2 years.
And that could be. I'm just saying, as a trend, the number of juvenile intakes have decreased.
According to the Department of Juvenile Justice, Richmond's intakes actually increased from 665 in 2021 to 915 last year. That includes 280 felonies and 309 misdemeanors. The top offenses involved assaults, weapons, and larcenies. Data shows Richmond's court service unit had one of the lowest successful diversion rates in the state. Advocates believe the data reveals a need for more opportunities to support youth involved in the justice system.
Invite us to the table to figure out how to allocate resources and do more. Spend those dollars in the spaces that are doing good work.
It's more ways out here that we can really get to children and figure them out.
Barber tells me she recently secured a grant to help with staffing and implementation of services. And in this upcoming year, she plans to add weapons courses, decision-making courses, and intervention programs to her department. In Richmond, I'm Tyler Lane, CBS 6 News.